Charges are being sought.
Well, what started again as a mostly peaceful day of demonstrations in Portland rapidly deteriorated again after nightfall.
Elise Haas is live in downtown Portland this morning with the new message from Portland's police chief. Elise?
Ken and Jenny, we have been moving around downtown Portland to show you different areas. Now we've moved to Pioneer Courthouse Square, and this is kind of where you're seeing a different scene than what I showed you yesterday morning. It was largely clean and clear, and now you're kind of seeing some trash and other debris that has been left over from people who stayed late into the night. So here is the latest information that we just received from Portland Police within the last few hours. We've learned that they were out dealing with a small fringe group of people up until 2 o'clock in the morning. With those individuals, there have been over a dozen arrests, and from 2 of those people, one, they took a fake gun away, and from a separate individual, they took a real gun away. And so again, all of this type of stuff that deteriorated overnight happened after all of the peaceful protesters went home, and things started to deteriorate around midnight.
This is a civil disturbance, and we have declared an unlawful assembly. Leave the area now, or you will be subject to uses of force to include riot control agents and impact munitions. Leave now.
So you can hear as police are telling people to leave. This is video from downtown Portland overnight after police began firing tear gas and flashbangs at protesters after officers say some became violent. So again, this is around 12:30 this morning where Portland police had shut down Pioneer Courthouse Square and declared it an unlawful assembly. They started ordering everyone to leave the area immediately, and Chief Jamie Resch said overnight some protesters were throwing things at officers, such as ball bearings, fireworks, and glass bottles. They even say some vehicles were spotted in the area providing weapons to people. So at one point, she said, even a truck attempted to hit officers. So Chief Resch says they had to develop tactics to deal with cars and trucks in these instances.
We have deployed stop sticks in some instances. We have also used marking as a method so we can identify these vehicles to stop later. This seemed like the least intrusive way to accomplish our goal of life safety.
She did not elaborate on how they are marking vehicles. Chief Resch added, though, she understands that the overwhelming majority of people were there to protest peacefully, and this small group of violent people does not represent the whole. So it is extremely important to note the most of the night was peaceful, and you're looking at that video of people during most of the evening gathering in Pioneer Courthouse Square, coming together and chanting the name of George Floyd. And also to drive that message home, I was on the east side of town, and this is when I recorded this video of thousands of people from the peaceful group who listened to police officers and marched back to the east side of town starting at 10 p.m. last night. And I shot this video as they were finishing up around 11 o'clock, chanting together while walking on East Burnside. And at one point, I even saw a llama marching with this group. So it really goes to show you what kind of tone the peaceful protesters are trying to convey here and how different and separate it is from what was going on the west side of town. So as you can imagine, I'm on the east side seeing all the peaceful protesters. Meanwhile, my co-workers are on the west side hours later seeing a different scene. And so back out here at Pioneer Square, again, you'll see some of the signs that are left over as well as trash on the ground. We also do have somebody here with graffiti removal who is working up to clean up some of the area. But as you can imagine, it's probably very frustrating for those thousands of people who went home peacefully listening to officers and really not knowing this was going on back here, to wake up and see me this morning sharing that a small fringe group of people were causing harm at 2 o'clock and at midnight. And so it is really hard to condense some protests that happened over a span of 7 to 10 hours, but I do encourage you to head to coin.com, and that is where we have outlined, by every half hour or so, the timeline of events, how everything was peaceful for hours, and then how things deteriorated into the wee hours of the morning. But it is becoming more clear that there's a very small sect of people in Portland who are trying to make it hard for the peaceful protesters to assemble. Reporting live in downtown Portland, Elise Haas, KOIN 6 News.
Thank you, Elise.